Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video on Intro to Ammo and Basic Ballistics. My name is Joseph Marshall. It is May 3rd, 2025 at 2:20 p.m. And today we're going to be doing a few different things. First, we're going to be building off of a previous video on measuring cartridges, as well as disassembling them, drawing them to scale. This will be good if you don't know what a cartridge is, if it doesn't have a head stamp on it, etc. We'll be able to use these dimensions to find information about the projectile in Cartridges of the World, as well as provide a brief history on the specific cartridge. Today we're going to be working with the 9x19 Parabellum, also known as the 9mm Luger, the 223 Remington or 5.56 NATO, the 3030 Winchester, and the 38 Special. Notice these are all dummy rounds. There's no live ammunition in the workspace. So our first step is to pull the projectiles out of the cartridge cases. We have the projectiles extracted from the cartridge cases. We can use this micrometer to gain dimension measurements of each, draw it to scale, and then just like that. You have the diameter of the rim, the diameter of the body, the length of the cartridge, the length of the projectile, and the diameter of the projectile. All right, so now that we have all of the drawings drawn to scale, we can go ahead and utilize those measurements and use Cartridges of the World in order to find out information about the rounds. So, Cartridges of the World. So, utilizing this guide, you're going to scroll all the way down to the back of the book where it says Cartridge Identification by Measurement. And this guide allows you to utilize all of those measurements that you took in order to find what cartridge you're looking for. So our first measurement is bullet diameter, projectile diameter, and we're looking at 352. So that's going to put us somewhere in this range right here, 0.35 to 0.357. So it'll be somewhere on this page. And then we got the rim diameter, 0.382. I said this isn't always going to be right on the money, but you're looking at somewhere right here in the 9mm range. And then the case length, we're looking at 769, which the only thing close is going to be the 9mm Luger, 9mm Major. And if you look at them, they are both going to be on page 450. So then we're going to scroll back to page 450, and this will tell you everything that you need to know about the 9mm Luger. So now that we have a detailed entry on each of our cartridges, I've used Cartridges of the World as well as different NRA journals, cheaperthandirt.com and leverguns.com to bring you a brief history of each of these cartridges. Starting with the 9mm, it was invented by George Luger. It started out as the 7.65 by 25mm board shot for the C93 pistol. After ejection, it was shortened to 21 millimeter and became the 7.65 by 21 Parabellum, meaning prepare for war. In 1901, Germany spearheaded the move to make it larger and shorter. So they widened the diameter to 9 millimeter and removed the bottleneck of the casing, but retained the taper, which shortened the case from 21 millimeters to 19, and therefore the 9x19 Parabellum was born. For the 38 Special, it was developed in 1898 by the U.S. military to overcome velocity limitations from the 38 Long Colt. It was capable of fitting weapons that used both 38 long and 38 short at the time. 9 years later, the same military program would develop the 45 ACP, and it would be phased out of military use. However, it remains popular even today. Law enforcement would then pick up the 38 Special in the 20s, where it would remain until semi-auto firearms started phasing out revolvers. The 223, it was developed at the request of General William Wyman, commander of the U.S. Continental Army Command. It started out as a 222 Remington and was the first commercial rimless cartridge. It did not meet the velocity and penetration requirements for the military, so they went back to the drawing board and made the 222 Rem Special, which had a longer case body and a shorter case neck. Springfield concurrently developed the 224 Echo 2 Winchester, known as the 222 Rem Mag, with an even longer body. Springfield dropped out of the race in 1963, and the Remington 222 Special got its designation, the 5.56-45, and was adapted for use in the military. 1 year later, it got its SAMI certifications and emerged as a 223 Remington for commercial loadings. Last but not least, the 3030 Winchester was the first American small bore cartridge designed for use with smokeless propellants. In 1894, the 3850 Ballard was necked down to hold a 160 grain 30 caliber projectile, and the name 30 Win Smokeless first appeared in 1895. Also in 1895, Marlin and UMC replicated and renamed it the 3030, the first number being the caliber and the second number being the powder charge. In 1904, Winchester increased the projectile weight to 117 grain. In 1910, UMC changed to a large primer pocket. In 1920, Winchester dropped the number 5 protected primer for its number 24 non-fulminate large rifle primer. In 1929, it was boasted as world famous. And just a little tidbit, Webster's dictionary has fulminate as to explode with loud noise. So I'm assuming the number 24 non-fulminate was a quieter primer. But let me know if I'm wrong down in the comments. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.